Hello and welcome to BAAD Radio. BAAD stands for Business at a Distance. This is a show about local businesses and business networking. We are here in the News Radio WFLA Orlando studios from 11 a.m. to noon every Sunday. I am your host, Angela Smarito, and before we jump into things, I want to thank one of our sponsors, Ground Up Property Services. The Florida heat is here, so now's the time to get your irrigation system serviced by Ground Up Property Services. Don't wait for your grass to die or just turn brown and all that other fun stuff. Call today at 407-468-4295 or visit groundupinc.net. We have a new guest today to BAAD Radio. Please welcome Coach Rich Massa. I want to make sure I get it right. Founder of Eternal Fitness.
Thank you for having me.
We have like 3 cameras on Coach today, so we're like, the more the merrier. Let's wait for all of them.
My ADD is kicking in right now. I don't know who to say hi to.
So first and foremost, what are you a coach of?
Well, I help people. I'm the founder of Eternal Fitness. We help people transform their body and create a fitness lifestyle that they love.
Okay.
And I've been doing this for a long time, and I like to help people feel good in their own skin.
What's a long time?
19 years.
All right, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
So do you have a brick and mortar place, or where are you guys, where are you located at?
Well, I do in-person services. What I do is I rent from a studio or a gym.
Oh, okay.
But I also do online, where I have clients in Texas, Winter Park, Winter Springs, Oviedo, Sanford, DeBerry. Like I have clients, one in Jacksonville.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, before we jump into all that, let's talk about your background a little bit. So how did you, 19 years ago, how did you get started with this?
Well, I was in a terrible car accident about 20 years ago. And while I was healing, I saw one of the people I used to work with. He was training people at a gym I was trying to heal. And I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm training people for a career." I go, "I've always wanted to do that."
Right.
Right when once he told me like what certifications he had, I took my tax return at the time.
Right.
And I started just studying the science of fitness. I've always been a fitness buff before the accident.
Okay, so that was something that you were acclimated to.
I was already like into the fitness. I loved working out. I grew up as an overweight kid. And I said, you know what, if I could take this knowledge and help other people, I go, that would be like my dream job.
I'm curious, what is that like? I mean, is that really hard to grow up as an overweight child?
Oh, yeah. Well, I grew up, some of the nicknames I had was Meatball. I was also short. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. I was extremely popular with the ladies. All right. So, yeah.
Meatball, huh?
Yeah, Meatball, because I'm Italian, if you can't tell. So, yeah, of course, you get called names, but then eventually, my dad gets me this weight set when I was about 13, 14 years old.
Oh, my God, I love it. Love it.
It was a old school cement weight set. And he puts it in the attic, and I just feel like this draw.
Were you here in Orlando, or are you up in Jersey?
This is in Jersey.
Okay.
This is in Jersey. I came to Orlando, into Florida around 1999.
Okay.
But my dad gets me this old school cement weight. We couldn't have spent more than $50 or $100. I just felt this draw to it.
I love that.
And I put my hand on it, and I literally felt a shock of electricity.
Are you sure you didn't just get zapped?
It might have been because Jersey has very poor electric grids at the time. That's probably what shocked me. But I was like, maybe this is God telling me something.
It doesn't matter. It works.
It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it
Right.
worked. But I just got all these fitness magazines, Flex magazine, muscular development, and just started diving in. It was all bro science at the time.
Right.
But it got me started on the right path. And I said, I just dove in. I just wanted to see how much I could bench and squat and lift. And I talked to other guys in the gym. And I used to walk to the gym at like 4:30 in the morning before my dad woke up because he didn't like the idea of me going, for some reason. I don't know why. But I would take my lunch money and buy my gym membership, $40 a month.
Oh,
yeah.
You know what? That's like the best story. That's what I love about doing this show is I love stories.
Yeah.
I love the fact that your father bought you your first gym set and you're like just drawn to it.
Yeah.
So you dove into not just the workout, like I call them muscle heads. Muscle heads are, I don't know if you use that term.
Meatheads.
Yeah, meatheads. Yeah.
Gym bros.
Yeah, where it's like that's all, they don't care if they die as long as they look big in their coffin kind of thing.
Right.
I'm more into like understanding the nutritional part of things and being healthy, like I said, from the inside out and all of that other stuff. So I meant, when you dove into it as a young man, were you looking at the nutrition part, or were you just like, let's get muscles?
Well, first off, I worked out because I was overweight, but listen, most guys that age, when they're 14 to 16, you work out because you want to look good for girls.
That's it.
That's it. I want to look good for the ladies. And that stemmed off into other careers, which we shall not name, which maybe we'll get into later. But basically, you don't know anything. You don't know what you don't know. So I was taking like salads because I think, hey, lettuce is healthy.
Right.
Right?
We all thought lettuce was healthy.
Right. And it is healthy, but you also need to feed the body. But I didn't dive into the nutrition, but you basically try to eat with the bodybuilders that you saw. Like I wanted to emulate them. So, okay, let's just get the blueprint, which was chicken and rice, some salad here. But I was a kid, so I was like, I got to make this as cheap as possible. So I would take like vegetables or, and I lost a lot of weight. I got in good shape, but my knowledge was limited. But I basically, that was my foundation, was reading some magazines, getting some fundamentals down, and just trying to build a better body, basically.
Right. Well, fast forward to 19 years ago.
Okay.
How did you launch your business?
Well, as I was healing from the car accident, I went in on a cane to the gym, and I said, hey, I want to get some people in shape.
Oh, you just, okay.
I'm certified. I want to get some people in shape. I knew one of the managers there, and he introduced me to the GM. He just liked my attitude. I said, hey, I'm working out while I'm healing. My legs almost healed up, and I want to start a career. And here's my 2 certifications. It was Lifestyle Family Fitness at the time in Jacksonville. There were some here in Orlando.
I was going to say, I know that name.
Yeah. They sold their gyms, the chain, about, I think it was 7 years ago. They sold it off. But I was one of the trainers in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay. And showed him my certifications. He goes, okay, you're hired. And I started signing people up probably within the first month.
Did you have people that you had already, like, because I'm always curious about, like, the networking part. Were you just talking to people in the gym saying, hey, you know what? I can kind of help you out here?
I literally had no idea what I was doing. There was one guy, he was an Asian guy who spoke no English. And he basically said, you want guns like this? Let's go. And he said, here's $500. And that's how I closed people at the time.
I love it. Like I said, that's like the universal language, right? Like, here, guns.
Right. But since then, obviously, my knowledge has evolved, and I'm also certified in life coaching. You want to go where people are at. That's not going to work. Sometimes that'll work because they want to emulate the person that they want to look like. But you have to kind of go where people are, and that's where that was a starting point. I didn't know what to say. I just could go off my passion. I got certified. I had some base level knowledge. And
what does the certification entail?
Well, it depends on which one you get. There are some out there. It's just a weekend course.
Well, what is the entity that regulates that?
Especially in Florida, there isn't a regulating body.
Okay.
People can give some level 1 nutrition advice and things like that. But there's no regulating body that you have to be certified, but you should be certified. If there's somebody who's going to be a trainer out there, you should have some base level of exercise science, some basics of nutrition. There's plenty of great certifications out there. It should take you 3 months to study the course material. Yeah. But there are some, hey, here's a $100 weekend certification.
I know. You know, one of my biggest pet peeves is like people that want to give nutrition advice and all that other stuff, and they're overweight.
Oh, yeah, that's a big pet peeve
I'm like,
of mine.
really?
Yeah.
You're going to tell me how to eat? You're going to tell me what I should and shouldn't do? But you're sitting over there probably a good 30, 40 pounds overweight. I mean, is that just me? Or like I have a problem with that.
No, but let's just be honest here. That's most people. Not to say that if this person who's a trainer who went on a journey and she lost, like, say, 70 pounds, and she's helping other women get to where she's at now, or this guy. He's recently lost 70 pounds, and he got certified. He wants to help other people.
Right, but he's still not like
But he's not at that pinnacle, but he can at least help you with the first 70 pounds, and he wants to lose the next 30. That's a little bit different story.
Right.
But if you're one of these people that, love your body and you still be overweight, that's a bunch of BS, all right? You can't abuse your body and then say that you love it. That's like being in a relationship. The person's punching you in the face all day, but I love you, but I love you. All right, so that's... There's different situations,
right?
But if you feel that way, I do feel, and I was a PT director at a gym, and
you know what though, what I'm going to do is I want you to hold that thought because this is the time where I'm going to be like, we're going to have to go to a commercial break. I know it goes fast, but all right, you guys stay tuned because when we get back, we're going to have more BAAD Radio.
Welcome back to BAAD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Welcome back, and this portion of the show is brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore. Summer's here, so it's time for a trip to Premier Couple Superstore. They have a huge selection of lingerie, shoes, toys, games, love oils, and a ton of great gifts. 5009 South OBT, or shop online at premiercouples.net, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Oh, yeah.
And we are here with fitness coach Rich Massa, founder of Eternal Fitness. And yes, Premier Couple Superstore is one of my clients.
Hey.
I can feel you over here like looking, giving me the look.
No, I like the oh yeah part. That kind of hit me in the feels.
Oh yeah, that's Guy, our producer in there. He's the one. He gets all of my sound effects and everything. But Premier Couple Superstore has supported this radio show since I launched it. They're one of my first sponsors to come on, and they've been fantastic, supportive the entire time. So I think that like I said, I'm like,
listen, I just did a networking event at Fair Villa,
mm-hmm.
and I said, if you want to feel good naked in these clothes, then come. Let's talk.
Maybe we could set something up with you with Premier.
I'd love to.
Because couples that play together stay together,
yes.
baby. That's the truth.
Yeah.
All right. So let's pick up what we were talking about. You were talking about certifications, but I want to just dive into like the meat of, because we talked about this before. It's talking about some of the myths. So over the years, we've gotten so many different stories over how to lose weight, how to be healthy. And it's like, first it's like, okay, stay away from the sugars. Then it's stay away from the carbs. Then it's you know what I mean? And so I call them just fads. You know what I mean? They come and go, and I think portions of them stay. But in reality, are they really even healthy? It's like just cutting all carbs out of your diet really that good for you?
No.
You'll lose weight.
No, it's not healthy or unhealthy. It doesn't matter. These are myths and misconceptions I love to debunk.
Okay.
So is that the one myth you want to tackle right now? Are carbs bad? Like what myth would you like to start
do carbs first.
When I was on Fox 35, once I said carbs, that was all their questions. Everybody, so let's debunk this myth right now. And this is all, I'm going to make a special announcement. This is all for all you keto-crazies, carnivore crackpots. This is for you, okay? The carbs are not bad. Too many ho-hos and too many Oreo cookies are bad. Mm-hmm. So listen, put the cookie down, listen to Coach Rich. First off, I'm Italian. You're going to take my pasta away from me, we're going to have a problem, okay? There is no, carbs are not bad because carbs break down into sugar. So I brought in, if you can't see, if you see it here, if you're on the camera, this is fat. The only way we store fat is through eating too much. Okay. That's it, and sitting on your butts. If you say need 2,000 calories a day and you're eating 2,500 calories, even if it's, a few times a week, your body says, hey, I don't need these calories. I'm going to store it for later and put it where you don't want it, on your face, on your belly, on your butts.
Mine's right here.
Right
there.
So the only way we really store fat, it's not inflammation, it's not carbs, it's from eating too much a few times a week.
Inflammation is a word that health people love to use. Why is that?
Now, weight, I'm not saying there can't be weight with inflammation. Like if your body's inflamed, it can show up on the scale, but it's not body fat.
Right.
Carbs. So let's break down. I'm going to teach you first the magic of macros. So
let's do it. Okay, first of all, what's a macro?
A macro is a fancy way of saying protein, carbs, and fats.
Okay. I never knew that.
So
I always just pretended like I knew what it meant, just so you know.
Yeah, that's all it is. So first off, if we use the same principle that if you eat in excess, if you don't eat enough, the body says, hey, I don't have enough energy. I need to go to my stored fuel to burn energy. So I needed to say that to say this. You have protein, which breaks down to aminos. That helps raise your metabolism and build muscle. Carbs break down into sugar, which is glucose, the main fuel source of the body. I'm going to say that again, the main fuel source of the body, and then you have fats. Now, my question is this. If you are eating at a deficit, if you're eating less than you're burning, why would the body, like it has a genie in your belly, right? Magically say, hey, carbs, these are carbs, I'm going to turn this into fat, but you're at a deficit. The only way you're going to put on body fat is from eating too much. But if you're at a deficit, how can it turn carbs into fat?
I don't think it can it?
It cannot.
Okay.
So to the keto-crazies and the carnivore crackpots, I have this for you. If you don't eat enough carbs, it's going to take it from the protein from a process called gluconeogenesis. It will break down the protein and sometimes even the fat and turn it into sugar. You can look that up on your little fancy machine called Google. Okay? So even if you're eating all this protein on the keto or carnivore, if it doesn't take in enough carbs, it's going to turn it into glucose. So if carbs are so bad and sugar's so bad, the body does a hell of a job trying to turn it into sugar.
I have a question too. It has to do with metabolism, stuff like that. So when people stop eating a lot, and is it true that our bodies will hold on to fat because it's like it's worried that it's like if you feel like you're starving, your body's like, okay, this body's starving, so I need to hold on to this fat as hard as I can.
There is some cause to think that is mostly because most people do not eat consistently.
Okay, so they're like up and down.
What you want to create is a homeostasis. So what most people do, yes, they do a fast or starve it in a feed. So they'll starve all day and then they get cravings because cortisol, the stress hormone, burns glucose for energy. So you're not going to crave apples at night. You're going to crave M&Ms and you're going to crave ice cream.
Right.
So you starve all day and you might not have eaten enough calories that day. The next day you feast because you're starving or you save it for the weekends. Mm-hmm. So there's no consistency there. So when you go into starving mode, the body may say, I need to hold on to these calories.
So it slows your metabolism down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what most people don't eat enough protein, especially the ladies. Not to be sexist, I am sexist, but that's for another show topic. And they don't move enough. The average American sits about 13 hours a day, and then they get 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night.
So you think women specifically don't eat enough protein, or is it? I mean, it's a women thing?
It's not a women thing. It's just I can't put my finger on it. It's just something like I have charts that will show most of my female clients, they have trouble getting above 70 grams of protein per day.
Mm-hmm.
So
guys will drink like protein shakes and eat meat.
Well, it also goes to evolution of biology. We were hunter-gatherers. So we go out, hunt the bison, hunt the buffalo.
Right.
We're gonna, and go get the meat, come back, and then you guys get the berries,
I'm down with some berries. You know what I'm saying? I'm an apple eater. That's my jam is like I could eat apples for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I know I don't, but like I said, that's what my body I really like apples.
So what you want to do in that case is just once you get your macros down, let me give you a couple of simple tips. Mm-hmm. Estimate your calories first. What you could do is take your body weight, multiply it by 15, mm-hmm. and then subtract 500 to 1,000 calories a day. That's how you get into a deficit. Mm-hmm. But you want to, listen to this, prioritize protein. Eat 3 to 5 servings of protein per day. And the simple way to do this is use your hand. If you just maybe take the palm of your hand and say that's a serving of protein, and you have that 3 to 5 times a day. Chicken, fish, eggs, yogurt.
Yeah.
At least I would even say the size of your hand. Like I would overestimate your protein because it's such a magic macronutrient. I mean, you will see your body transform if you've taken enough protein.
So I am a fan of protein, but like protein powders and stuff like that, the experience I had with them is that they wreck my stomach. Like they turn me, I feel like a big bloated balloon after, like if I'm going to eat a protein bar or a protein shake. But I think that might just be me, like my physical.
It might be how your body's chemistry is responding to the fillers in that protein or the quality of protein, the source of the protein. You might be lactose intolerant and it might be a whey protein. So there's a lot of factors there. It might not also be a clean product. What I would recommend is find something with a green check mark called Informed Choice.
Okay.
There are a few products that have that.
Do you endorse any certain products?
Right now, well, I do have a line I recommend to my clients that has a HIPAA-compliant health questionnaire. Mm-hmm. And I would recommend, and I don't make money on, I do make a little bit on that because, I need a stream of revenue if I'm going to recommend and research. I had doctors look.
You should have people pay you to recommend the products, especially if they're good products.
Well, if they are, I will recommend only what I believe in, but it's part of their coaching program is I recommend personalized supplementation.
Right.
But as far as protein powder, I usually send them Amazon links, and I might try to get something where I make a little commission, but my job is to make sure the client is set up for success.
Right. No, I love that. And I mean, thank you for answering those questions because that's kind of like on a personal level. I mean, my husband and I mean, we have a nice, healthy household, but those are the things that I've had problems with getting my protein in is that, like I said, just eating a regular amount of protein seems like it's just like drinking water. You should do it. It doesn't always happen that way. So you try to supplement it, and that's the problems I had. All right, I'm watching the clock again, and we're going to break. But you know what I want to talk about when we get back? I want to talk about dad bods.
Oh, let's go.
All right. So you guys stay tuned for more BAAD Radio coming up.
Welcome back to BAAD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Welcome back, and this portion of the show is brought to you by Frogger's Grill and Bar. Looking for a place to go with friends or meet new ones? Then you're looking for Frogger's Grill and Bar. And don't miss out on Frogger's amazing menu where everything is fresh, never frozen. With 4 great locations, there is bound to be one near you. Oviedo, Mount Dora, Apopka, and Altamont Springs. Frogger's, hopping with food and fun. All right.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about my, yeah, boy. Okay, so we're here with Coach Rich Massa, and we've been talking about health and nutrition. And before break, I was like, let's talk about some dad bods, because I see it. I'm on social media. I'm scrolling, and you see like glorifying dad bods. I'm also a baseball mom, right? And you see all the memes about the baseball dads and their things, and that's the dad bod. But yeah, I'm not buying it. I'm not a fan.
Okay, before we get into this very sensitive subject, which I love to talk about, in what aspect would you like to talk about the dad bod? My personal feelings on it. Do you think really? Are you saying that women don't like it? What road are we going to go down here?
I want to talk about the health portion of it.
Okay.
Because I think that by what society's doing right now is saying you have a dad bod, you're good, but it's not healthy.
It's not healthy. First off, I'm going to say this. I'm going to start with my personal opinion. I said this on Fox, but they didn't air it, so I'm going to say it again.
Look at guys in there sweating. No cuss words. You're good.
I'm not going to curse. I'm not going to curse. First off, ladies, the jig is up. When you say that men usually do things to impress women. I started working out to impress them. Men love to, husbands like to impress their wives. Boyfriends like to impress their girlfriends. And ladies, I'm sorry, there is a reason why Thor Love and Thunder went to $1 billion. Aquaman went to $1 billion. The guy from Shameless, who was an Iron Claw, did a Calvin Klein ad. He's jumping off rooftops in his underwear. These men did not have dad bods. They had God bods. And women went viral on TikTok, literally licking the TV screen with these men on TikTok, all right? So let's not pretend. First off, the dad bod myth is now thoroughly debunked. Right there. Women do not like the dad bods, and I know they're going to say, yes, I do. Shut up. You don't. Okay? Because I saw you guys at Magic Mike. I saw you guys at the premieres all dressed up as if Channing Tatum was going to come dance for you. All right? He did not have a dad bod there. So my personal feelings on it is I'm a dad. And I feel dads and husbands should be the leader of health and fitness and strength in the household. They should be an example to their kids. Quick story. I was getting a little bit of a dad, but I promised myself I would never have one. My daughter turned 2 when we were playing one day, and we were playing with my Superman action figure. Yes, I have one. Don't judge me. So she picks it up. She's 2. She looks like this. She goes, Daddy? I go, oh, my God. All right. Sweetie, we just put a lot of pressure on Dad. She thinks I'm Superman. Right. But here's what I did. I said, I'm going to take 6 months, and I'm going to look like Superman for my little girl. Good. Okay? So shout out to Cece out there. She actually helped me. It was right before the pandemic. I was starting to do more motivational speaking and life coaching at the time, but I went on a 6-month mission to look like Superman. Now, that being said, I'm not saying for men to walk around with 6-packs and busting biceps. Right. What I'm saying is it starts with you for your kids. You should want to have energy for your kids. You should want to set an example for your children. And if you don't like your man boobs and beer bellies, neither does your girlfriend or wife. And maybe both of them if you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, look at you. Got an applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's my feeling. I don't think we should normalize fathers being out of shape. I don't think it's a good look. I want to be an advocate for men being the best that they can be and being a leader in the household. Again, I'm not saying you should walk around with a 6-pack. I don't personally walk around with a 6-pack all the time. I have a fat alcoholic that lives in my body, and every once in a while, that guy, that jerk wins occasionally. But I get back on it because I'll look in the mirror. And so my tip to you men is look in the mirror, take a good hard look in the mirror, naked, and ask yourself, does anybody want to have sex with that? And if the answer is no, then you have work to do.
All right. There Amen. Amen. I know. No sugarcoating here. You know,
you see your guy in there, you crack it up.
You know, sometimes you just have to say it like that because society wants to make everybody feel like it's okay not to take it. But, okay, so not everybody is going to be like, you know, Thor.
Right.
I am a fan of Thor, by the way.
Yes.
And but they still should take things, their health important, especially if they're a father.
Did you like in shape Thor or fat Thor?
In shape Thor.
Thank you. Okay, just proving my point. Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Continue.
Oh no, definitely in shape Thor. In fact, when they had fat Thor, I was like, can you please stop showing that? Because that's like messing me all up there. So yeah, so people so your coaching style is just straight to the point. Then you're not going to sugarcoat it. If somebody's messing up, if you're like you're eating too much crap,
Here's what I do. Honestly, I don't give them that full punch in the face at first. I do ask them those sorts of questions like, I don't start that way because then it's too much truth at one time. You have to kind of go where the person's at. You have to ask. How do you feel now? And lead them to that question is, how do you feel naked? If you start with that, that's way too uncomfortable. It's kind of like peeling back the layers of how they really feel.
Do you ask them to keep like a food log maybe or something like that?
Well, I do that, but we have to start with a why. And the why is if you don't feel good naked. And usually with guys, it's the man boobs. And for women, it's a little black dress or they don't feel cute in their clothes. And what moms do is they put everybody first, even though no one asked them to. They just feel it's their duty, and then they forget about themselves. But they'll avoid pictures, and I want them just to be real for a second. After a series of questions, we build some rapport, and I go, and I'll ask people, how long have you felt this way? And I've heard up to 5 years sometimes of just feeling miserable with how they look and feel.
That's so sad.
So,
you mentioned you were a life coach too. That must really help you a lot.
Absolutely.
In this.
When I just change the framing, I go, we got to start with the pain point. If you don't start with pain of how you feel, you don't have
emotional
any reason.
Pain.
Emotional.
Right. Okay.
And this is emotional. For women, like I said, it's the clothes and feeling attractive, and for men, it's I want to do the things I like to do, or compete with their friends, or feel attractive to their spouse. Or it might be a health scare. Mostly the times it might be a health scare, but you got to start with that scare point or pain point, and then you start formulating goals 3, 6, 9 months, and you start there. Then we start forming a plan. You have to have a target first, but before that, it's the pain point. Then we start visualizing.
I love
How
that.
do you want to feel? Paint a picture for me.
Right.
And it's not just looks. What things do you want to do? What hobbies do you like? Do you want to dance? Do you want to go hiking? Do you want to play with your kids? Things like that. And building a life up here. Then we're going to start setting up a plan. But we have to start up a life, a vision first that, and you see their face it goes from I feel good, bad, naked to they start lighting up. I go, man, I just see myself in my red bikini or my power suit in the office. And I see myself biking. And I just had a guy the other day, shout out to Rob Reed. He goes, I want to join the softball league again. But I'm not going to make it to first base. Let's get you there. Let's get you on that first base.
I think that's
and hit
important.
a home run with your wife.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I mean, I think that's super important to set goals along the way instead of just saying, I'm here now, but I want to be Thor in 6 months. That's not going to happen.
Right.
And I think that it's important to give those people realistic
goals. We start here. Like if you're broke, you start really getting out of debt. You don't try to become a millionaire. Let's get you out of debt first, and then let's get $1,000 in your savings account.
Right.
The same principles apply here. We got to start with that pain point. And most people, they don't look at their bank accounts, and most people don't hit the scale. But what I do is let's face the mirror, tell me how you feel, and then the first few weeks we're just focusing on habits, like nutritional habits, consistent schedule, technique in the gym, and then just for the first 3 weeks. Then after 3 weeks, you get nice rich. It goes to not nice rich.
Okay.
And then I go, I will get my first I hate you after the first month. But the first 2 weeks, I got to get you some wins under your belt.
Right.
All right? After you get some wins, then I'm going to get you I hate you. And I do all the time.
Because they're sore.
Yeah. Well, no, I just push them out of their comfort zone. Like, God, I hate you. I go, good.
Yeah.
I'm like the Emperor from Star Wars.
Then you're
good.
like, then I'm doing my job.
Yes, it's like saying I love you to a coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, good. Now you're starting to hate me.
Right.
But really, it's just that if I have to be the bad guy, I have no problem with that. But they love the results that they feel after they leave.
Well, so I want to continue this conversation, but before, we have one more segment coming up, but what I want to hit are, this new thing that's coming out, the Ozepics, the semaglutides, the things like that. So all these people are getting crazy skinny, but are they getting healthy skinny?
No. So we'll tackle that. And I have a lot to say on this.
Okay.
So stay tuned.
Welcome back to BAAD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Well, welcome back, and this portion of the show is brought to you by Liberty Property Inspections. Your home is one of your most important investments, so don't trust it to just anyone. LibertyPropertyInspections.net, helping you protect your investment. I'd also like to thank these additional sponsors for making BAAD Radio a reality. Fear No Storm with BoltzLegal.com, Crazy Muscle Nutrition, Imbalanced Bodywork, Forge IT Consulting, and Body Street in Winter Park. All right, so we're here with fitness coach Rich Massa, and we're going to talk about Ozempic and semaglutide and all those things that everybody's talking about now. It's like revolutionize losing weight in the world, but I told you my experience. It made me sick as a dog.
Yes. So I do, obviously, I'm going to take this from a health aspect. I'm just going to ask these people, when you hear these names, I know they're popular right now, But do you really want to be an Ozempic zombie? Oh, everyone's taking Ozempic. I have to take Ozempic now. Then you want to be mushy on Mounjaro when you look skinny fat after you take that? Because guess what it does? It burns muscle. That's what it does.
What is skinny fat?
Skinny fat is when you look skinny and fat at the same time.
I don't okay.
Soft muscle. Soft muscle. Like you lost all this weight and now you're skinny, but you're fluffy.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
So it's skinny fat.
So because what it's doing is it's burning your muscle before it's burning your fat? Or
We'll get into the
okay, sorry.
First of all, I want to disclaim I'm not a doctor, but
Okay.
I do have some knowledge on what these medications, because it's not. This is what transformation was. Transformation was 10, 15 years ago. All they do is keep repackaging, but this is the final boss. And then I don't want to even get silly on semaglutide. That's what you're going to be. You're going to be silly if you go on semaglutide, because this is what these medications and all these medications do. Now, even doctors are saying with these medications, this is the final boss. The risk is not worth the reward. I personally had a couple of clients take this medication while training, and I'm Italian. I was yelling at the top of my lungs, do not take this. It's going to burn muscle. And guess what happened? You're trying to lose weight, but you're going to burn the one part of the body that helps you lose weight, which is muscle.
Well,
right?
I told you during break when I took semaglutide, it made me feel nauseous. I was weak. I couldn't work out. And I couldn't eat protein. I had an aversion to everything. Like, I didn't want to eat food. I didn't want to drink water. I couldn't work out. I literally was a zombie.
Just like with these fad diets, these cults, like the carnivore cultists out there, what they'll do is now it's getting applied to this, that everybody's doing it, okay? And they're going on this belief system, this fast track. That's what it does, is it cuts out all your appetite. Mm-hmm. And when you don't eat, you're going to slow down your metabolism. Mm-hmm. The diets like keto and carnivore, that was made from extreme inflammation patients, diabetics. That's what that was designed for, and it bled over to the mainstream. It's the same thing here. These are medications for people with diabetes. And other contraindications.
And just one of the side effects is weight loss.
And the side effect is not having an appetite. And if you don't eat, like I said, if you're at a deficit, you're going to lose weight. Right. Not all good weight. There is bad weight that you can lose and good weight you can lose. The good weight is the fat. The bad weight you lose is the muscle.
Right.
So if you undereat, the body will catabolize muscle or cannibalize
muscle. Will it take your muscle before it'll take the fat?
In some cases, yes, especially with this type of medication. It will literally, like, you're not eating anything and you're taking medication. First off, does that make sense to you to put poison in your body? It's literally poison in your body to lose weight. I mean, are we that desperate? You can't
see people use Botox. They put poison in their face all the time. People are crazy. They're crazy.
This is crazy stuff to me.
I know.
You know?
But people are crazy because they want that instant gratification. They don't want to have to work to get the result.
But here's the thing. You're going to gain the weight back. Going to, because you haven't built the habits to keep the weight off.
Absolutely. Amen to that.
Yes. And guess what? I will put money on it right now. If anybody wants to bet me in 10 years, you're going to see a spike in cancer. A spike.
Oh, you think that it's going to cause cancer?
I'm very confident in that prediction, because that's what some of these medications do. It puts a lot of stress on the body. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just going to go based on this. This is designed to treat people with diabetes, just like carnivore was designed for people with extreme inflammation. Keto was made for, I can't remember what special group it was for, but it was designed for a special group.
It wasn't a weight loss.
It wasn't a weight loss. It's just that protein makes you feel full, so you're not going to eat as much. You're in a caloric deficit. What these medications are doing is shutting off the hunger mechanisms of the body and the brain, so you don't eat. That's also going to give you a poor association relationship with food, because food doesn't make you fat. Too many cookies make you fat, okay? Too many cookies. Too many of these things.
When people get off the Ozempic and stuff like that, does their appetite come back?
Yes, and then guess what they do? They gavoon. All right?
What?
It's an Italian phrase, and they stuff their face.
Oh.
Because they haven't eaten any food in 3 months.
They're
starving. Like, oh my God, what is this feeling? It's called hunger. All right? You're hungry. You haven't eaten food in 3 months.
Right.
And you're skinny fat now. And guess what? Now you're gonna be fat. Mm-hmm. All right? You're gonna have man boobs, thunder thighs. You're gonna have your muffin tops. You're gonna have if you're Latinas, you're gonna have your chichos right here by your bra. All right? All of that's coming back plus 10 pounds because you've lowered your metabolism by not eating.
Right.
You're now a lot lighter, so you're not burning as many calories. Now you're going to stuff your face with all the foods you haven't eaten, and you're going to gain all that weight, and you've lost muscle, which supports your metabolism.
Wow, it sounds like a disaster.
It is a disaster. It's a ticking time bomb.
Right.
So just ask yourself, is this worth it? Even doctors are saying the risk is not worth the reward.
Okay.
So I'm not saying you have to, like I said, it's not rocket surgery. You just eat in a deficit, prioritize protein, lift some heavy crap, and get good sleep. And your body, it's not really, it takes half an hour a day. And I like the 80-20 rule. Eat 80% of your food from God and 20% have some indulgences.
Yeah.
Right?
That's one thing for me too, is if I try to cut out I remember how, if I try to cut out everything, then my brain revolts, and then I'll overeat chocolate. I have a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about, like I said, because what I really want to talk about right now is your process. So
Okay.
how do we do this? Because like I said, my goal is to have people pick up the phone and be like, I like this guy. I want to talk to this guy. I need somebody that's going to have a heavy hand, or somebody that's going to really tell me the way it is and not sugarcoat things.
Okay.
So let's talk about the process of somebody coming to be a client.
Well, if you don't want to have sugarcoating, you come to the right place, because I'm going to give you the
Heck
medicine.
yeah.
All right. But I'm going to start with a process that's going to work for you. The first step we're going to do is set goals.
Right. So consultation.
Consultation first, and then we're going to do a goal setting session where I'm going to design your calories and your macros and design a menu plan with foods that you actually like to eat.
So you're not going to give the same person every single menu, because that's another thing that drives me crazy, is they'll say, oh, everybody's different. It needs to be customized. But then they give you the same dang, food list that they give a 17-year-old kid.
Right.
That is
Well, it depends
annoying.
on the situation. I do use a low carb method with some of my clients because they might be really inflamed.
Right.
And I restrict it, not because the foods are bad.
But you look at the person individually.
Right.
Okay.
I take it and said, this person wants more flexibility. Too much structure is not going to work. And then some people, they need the flexibility. Some people need structure, and they need it simple because too much information is overwhelming.
Right. Well, for me too, it's like, write it down.
Right.
You write it down. I can follow instructions.
Yes.
So do you give instructions?
And I'll give them their daily limits on their daily targets on macros, protein, carbs, and fats.
Yep.
Hit these numbers, you're going to be good. And I give them some education on what foods you can swap out for each food.
That's
I
good.
teach them what the foods do so they have more freedom. And they stay in a deficit. Then we pick a workout plan that's going to work for them. I design 12-week workout programs, and I have about 10 of them in 3 levels: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I have a Genesis program for the beginners, an Emerge program for the advanced, and they have the God Bod and the Goddess program.
I want to be the goddess.
See,
I want to be on the
wants
goddess
listen,
program.
everybody wants to do the God Bod until you have to do what God Bods do. All right, and then everything comes on my app. The app is your map. You hit the button, you eat this, you do that workout at this intensity, and I say, listen, if you're going to work out, you have to do it until it sucks a little. You just don't do, 13, 14, 15, next one. You got to do it until like, oh my God, this is going to suck tomorrow. Then you're going to get results.
Right. Well, we're actually coming towards the
That's
end
fine.
of the show.
That's fine.
I know I wanted to talk more about the program, but we're just going to have you on again.
Okay.
So give everybody all of your contact information.
Okay, if you want to transform your body and live a fit life, you can find me at geteternallyfit.com. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok on Coach Rich Massa. Find me for nutrition tips, and I'd love to help you get a body so nice you want to look at it twice.
Thank you so much, and a huge thank you to our sponsors, and you guys have a great week, everyone.